Hey guys, this is Miss Kelsey here with another story time in the garden. I'm here in the courtyard of the botanical garden for our week 7 of our virtual summer in the garden. This week we're talking about creepy crawlers, so we're looking at different bugs that we can find throughout the garden. So for story time, we're going to be reading all about butterflies. This book is called Butterfly Garden, and it's by Margaret McNamara. So let's get started. Mrs. Connor held up a package. "Who can guess what this is?" she asked. The first graders did not know. "I will give you one hint," said Miss Connor. "It is something that changes from one thing to another." In their classroom, there's lots of pictures of bugs. Here we've got a bee, a ladybug, and a caterpillar. Does anyone know what a caterpillar turns into? We're gonna find out. "Is it a monster?" asked Eaton. "Is it a superhero?" asked Michael. "It is not a monster or a superhero," said Miss Connor. I think our picture in the background here is giving us a little hint. What could it be? She opened the package carefully. Inside, there were tiny bugs. "Caterpillars!" yelled the first graders. "We are going to learn about butterflies," said Miss Connor. "Then why are we looking at caterpillars?" asked Emma. "Caterpillars turn into butterflies," said Hannah. "This shows us how they do it," said Miss Connor. So here, the caterpillars start as little eggs on a leaf, and then they hatch and they start eating the leaf until they grow really, really big and they turn into a chrysalis. And then eventually a butterfly comes out of the chrysalis. At first, the caterpillars did not move much. "Are they asleep?" asked Katie. "Are they dead?" asked Jamie. "No," said Miss Connor. "They are working hard." After a few days, they got bigger and bigger and bigger. After a week, the caterpillars climbed to the top of the jar. "They are hanging upside down," said Katie. You see all of them hanging upside down? Right there. The next day, Miss Connor said, "Look, they covered themselves up so they can grow wings." Miss Connor moved them carefully into the butterfly garden. So this is what's called a chrysalis, when a caterpillar covers themselves up so that they can turn into a butterfly. The first graders waited for 11 more days. "They are getting darker," said Eaton. On the 12th day, Miss Connor said, "Class, come quickly." The whole class gathered around the butterfly garden. "Look," said Nick. "Something is coming out," said Nia. "It's a butterfly," said Eaton. The butterflies carefully opened up their wings. "Why are they all so small?" asked Emma. "They will get bigger very soon," said Miss Connor. When the class came back from recess, there were 3 butterflies in the garden. 1, 2, 3. All their wings were big and beautiful. When they were all big enough, the class let them go. That was even better than a superhero," said Michael. The end. So now we have a little craft and an activity to go along with our book. So this week we're going to be making our own little caterpillars that you can race with a straw. So this is our finished product. In order to make them, you just need pieces of paper or construction paper cut into inch-wide strips, some markers for decoration, scissors to cut out your caterpillar, and a straw to use at the end. So there's a tutorial that we're going to attach along with the story time, but just as kind of a quick summary of how to make our caterpillars, you take your inch-wide strips, you're just going to fold it once in half, unfold it, and then you fold the corners into the middle, just like this. And then we're going to do that again, so we're going to fold our edges into the middle again. And then fold it in half. And then we're just going to cut out some rounded corners. So that when we unfold them, we have our little caterpillar friend that you can then decorate. And when you're done, you can use your straw, I have a paper straw here, to race your caterpillars so you can blow them on. Well, right off the book. All right. And last but not least, we have a scavenger hunt that Miss Nicole and I here made that you guys can use around your house, right? So if you walk around, you can look for a large bug, a small bug, a winged bug, a changing bug like the ones we just learned about, a buzzing bug, a crawling bug, a bug on a web, and a group of bugs. So let us know how your scavenger hunt goes, and remember to use the hashtag KWVirtualGarden to share what you guys learned today.